How we doing, party people? A little bit of technical issues, but we're back on a Thursday, ready to talk some Snakes baseball. Let's do it in 30 seconds. Don't go anywhere. Welcome on into the PHNX Dbacks show. I am your host, Damon Fairall. I got my guy, Kevin Thomas, making his comeback, his return, if you will, to the PHNX Dbacks show. You might as well call this another iteration of the AZ Wildcats podcast, Kevin. And speaking of, you guys want to hear more of Kevin and Damon talk for an hour, we'll be doing that later at 2 p.m. But we're doubling up today, and we're starting off talking about some Arizona Diamondbacks baseball. How is everybody doing at home? Appreciate everybody who is already here. Drop a like on this video. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. What's up, Scott Mack, one of the staples of this chat. Bees, my guy, salute to you, brother. We are ready to talk some Diamondbacks baseball, and I'm ready to talk about Brandon Pfaadt. Because, Kevin, I don't know if you saw, your boy Brandon Pfaadt, so obviously Kevin and I just got back from Frisco. We were out at Big 12 Media Day with our guys Anthony Totri and Eric Ruby. Go check out all of our content that we got out there for Sun Devils or Wildcats on our PHNX Sports YouTube channel. Like all of it, though, for sure, even if you don't like either one of those teams. But we didn't get to, see last night's game, Kevin, because we were on a flight back, right? And when I land and I check the score and I look at the box score, I say, is Brandon Pfaadt back? Did you see his stat line last night, Kevin?
I did. I saw it on social media. Pfaadt is back. I remember earlier this year telling you, Damon, that shockingly, Brandon Pfaadt was my favorite player on the team, right? This is early on in the season, and I think I absolutely floored you, right? But I think, the important thing about it is that the Diamondbacks starting pitching rotation seemingly is getting their feet underneath them, even though we're nearly at the end of the summer. And, how quickly could you need that? You need that expeditiously fast.
No doubt about it. I mean, especially with Brandon Pfaadt pitching the way that he did, he's been struggling so much recently, right? And even in his good outings, he's just getting hit so hard. And then yesterday he comes out and he just throws a million cutters. And it's something that we really haven't seen too much before from Brandon Pfaadt. Kevin, I don't know if we still have the scene of Pfaadt's pitch chart from last night. Is it still in there? Because if it is, I'd love to pull it up and take a peek at it.
That is Merrill Kelly's.
Look at this too. I mean, Merrill Kelly is, he absolutely shoved on Tuesday, and we will talk a little bit about just kind of the starting pitching performance as a whole. But the Brandon Pfaadt performance was definitely interesting, and if he has that cutter in his bag, what does that add to his game? He spoke a little bit about what that cutter did for him last night. I know. People are pretty impressed by Brandon Pfaadt, and 8 innings pitched is remarkable stuff from a guy who's just flat out really been struggling. 99 pitches, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, only 4 strikeouts, but the longest outing of Brandon Pfaadt's career. I think that, I didn't give it out last night, but if I did, Brandon Pfaadt was 100% King Snake, right? And just an unbelievable performance from our guy Pfaadt over there. Merrill Kelly obviously pitched a gem in game 2. Zach Gallen seems like he might be back. And a big part of that is James McCann, right? That can't be understated what James McCann has potentially done for Zach Gallen this season. In his last two or three starts, Zach Gallen has just looked so much better on that mound. And James McCann looks like a big reason why he's just connecting with the pitchers really well. And on top of that, he's adding offense too. He hits a home run last night, his second on the Diamondbacks off of Dylan Cease in last night's 8-2 kind of routing of the Padres, and you take control of the series. So I agree, Scott. I tweeted it a couple of days ago. James McCann can just flat out not be on this roster in favor of Jose Herrera when Gabby Moreno comes back. Like, there might be riots. There might be riots in downtown Phoenix. And understandably so, because this guy he's hitting 350 right now, Kevin. 2 home runs, 4 RBI, a 1269 OPS, and he's somehow fixed Zach Gallen. Is James McCann the best catcher in baseball?
Duh. Maybe the most significant. No, I think I know I say that in jest, but honestly though, Damon, I think that when you talk about the catching problems that the Arizona Diamondbacks have had up and down this season, right? To finally, kind of like with the pitching, to finally find some stability in that, you have to go with what is working if you're Torey Lovullo and that staff. And whatever's working with McCann, we want more of it, like Scott says. So let's make that happen. I think you don't want Zach Gallen to have this potential last year as an Arizona Diamondback be completely disappointing. You want him to find strides. You want him to show the reasons as to why we even have the debate at the beginning of the year as to, who's going to start day one? Zach Gallen, Corbin Burns. We have so many aces, right? You want a reason to feel validated in that conversation from earlier in the year. You want a reason to feel confident in your pitching staff. And Zach Gallen, if he's not performing at his best, even if the rest of the pitching staff is on fire, I feel like it's tough to feel confident that, you have all the horses required to make a deep run, right? So, I don't know. Give me more James McCann, Damon.
I mean, 100% give me more James McCann because it's clearly working right now for the Arizona Diamondbacks. And he's a long, tenured player in this league. He's played since 2014. This is, I believe, his 11th Major League season. And yeah, I mean, it's just it's a guy that I think that the Diamondbacks, and I've long said this, I really felt that the Diamondbacks could upgrade on that backup catcher spot. Jose Herrera just, it's not cutting it, hitting under 200 with a horrible slugging percentage and really somewhat lackluster defense, right? Like, I don't want to, pile on the guy, but he's not a great framer. He's not a great thrower. It seems like the pitchers like him and the guys in the locker room like him a lot, which is great. And I've heard that he calls good games, which is, something that I think a lot of us that are not in that locker room, not in that organization, can't really speak to as much. But James McCann's calling a good game every time that Zach Gallen's out on the mound, Kevin. And when Zach Gallen was being caught by Jose Herrera, it looked horrific. So, I just don't think that calling a good game per se is worthy of an entire roster spot for this team. James McCann looks like he's doing more than just calling a good game. He's providing offense. He's providing leadership as well. And I just think that guy has to be on the roster moving forward. He's earned it, man. He's earned it. You can't just let a guy like this go.
Question from Bees in the chat that I wanted to pitch to you, Damon. Not really a question, but more of a statement that I want your opinion on. Bees says, suddenly our catcher depth is not looking so bad long-term with ADC plus McCann. Moreno, ADC, and McCann is a nice rotation. So what is your opinion on the D-backs catcher depth, like long-term, but I think more importantly, short-term for the rest of this baseball season?
I mean, I don't expect catchers a position, right, where you get your players are bound to get banged up a little bit. Like, that's just a spot where, you're protecting home plate. Like, there's collisions there. You're constantly receiving. You're involved in every pitch, which can't be said for anybody else other than the pitcher. And I think it's bound to happen injury wise, but we've seen with Gabby that he's somewhat injury prone, right? Like, I think it's safe to say that at this point he's played in these past 3 seasons, he's struggled staying on the field consistently in all of them. And I think that we're just going to have to kind of get used to, as Diamondbacks fans, that our catcher, Gabby Moreno, is, he's a great player and he has a lot of potential and he's very young. He's a staple of this organization, but we're going to have to deal with spurts of not having him, I think, for the foreseeable future, as long as he's a Diamondback. Hopefully, you can get a little bit more league average play than below average play. And James McCann has certainly been above average. You even have a guy like ADC in the minors, who I know he's just getting back and he's more DH than catcher right now. But that's a guy who I look at the upside of and I say, like, hey, I want a piece of that upside in the major league level. I don't want, like, I know what Jose Herrera is. He's the exact same guy he's always been. And I guess that's just kind of where I'm at with it. Jordan PM says, a veteran presence in the catcher position is wildly helpful. They have trained eyes and bats for a long time. 100%. You see that experience in leadership with James McCann. And then you hear him talk in the postgame press conference with his giant, massive arms that Derek can't stop staring at. And it's like the guy is, he's just like, yeah, went out there, did what I do. He's just a pro's pro, man. And, we want more McCann. I saw some pretty great James McCann memes, Kevin, the other day. They were, I don't know that we can say them on air, but they were pretty special stuff. And I sent it to my guy, Derek, and I think he fully concurred with it. But I heard Derek was bragging about, and we should have started the show off here. Derek was bragging about going on vacation and not knowing what I was going to do with this show while he was gone. Like, I don't know what Damon's going to do, but I'm going to be sipping a pina colada in Puerto Rico on the beach. Like, that seems a little bit messed up, no?
And your first move was to bring me back to the show. A man that physically assaulted Derek the last time he was on this show. So I don't know how you and Derek are going to litigate this when he gets back from the islands or the beaches or wherever the hell Derek is with his Mai Tais and margaritas or whatever he's drinking on. So yeah,
it's ridiculous.
I mean, by the way, it feels good to be back on the show without the guy that I needed to assault to get off of the show. I feel like we're just doing the AZ Wildcats podcast. We're talking a little bit of baseball. So this feels good. It feels familiar. And I hope Derek's having a good time wherever he is, abandoning all of us.
Yeah. I mean, I listen, like, I've been Mr. Vacations this summer. Kevin's been Mr. Vacations this summer. Puerto Rico sounds pretty nice, though. Like, I might need another
wonderful.
Vacation. I was just in San Diego. I might need another vacation. But getting back to the fellas in San Diego right now, Diamondbacks have an extra game tonight, and it is an important one. If I do say so myself, I'm gonna declare that important game tonight. You can't go up 2-0 on the Giants and tie that series. Follow that up with a loss to the Royals in a home series, and then follow that up with another 2-1 get up on a division rival that you need to, claw back and scratch games from. And then all of a sudden, you tie that series as well. It just would feel like you're just leaving so much out on the table, man, for this team. And it just can't happen. It can't happen. After the way the Giants series went, you can't do it again here in San Diego. I think you have to win this game tonight. And Erod was looking a lot better, but that seemed to seem like kind of all come crashing and burning to the ground in that Royals series. I believe he gave up 7 earned runs in that Royals game, that final series of that Royals series. Maybe it was the first game, actually. But looking here, misremembering a little bit. But yeah, you had Erod go out there, 4 1/3, 12 hits, 9 runs, 8 earned, so not 7 earned. 7 Ks still for Erod, but gave up 3 bombs. We don't want that Erod tonight. That's for sure. I mean, it's just been a weird, like, Erod's just so inconsistent, man. And that contract, it stinks. Like, we all know it stinks, but before that, he'd given up 2 runs, 1 run, 0 runs, 1 run, albeit pretty decently easy schedule. I mean, we know the Mariners are a bad offensive team. Then you got the White Sox and the Marlins in there. That Royals game is just unacceptable. It's just, you go right back to what he's been looking like when he looks horrible the entire time. And right when Dbacks fans are starting to buy back in, hey, maybe we have a serviceable pitcher here. Maybe he's not worth the massive contract that we're paying him, but he can be a number 3, number 4 starter for this team. And then he goes out there and drops that disaster class against the Royals. You need him to show up tonight in a big, big way, man. You really, really do. Kevin, you got anything on Eduardo Rodriguez?
That sometimes, he's a ballerina, and sometimes he's a ballerina with 2 left feet. And I think that Elrod is a name that Scott Mack has been repeating here in the chat, and I think it stands for the left foot that he only has sometimes when he's trying to dance out there. But yeah, no, I think he's just inconsistent, right? Like we've been talking about. I mean, I've been talking about like stability and consistency this whole show, but like I don't think you can really expect that from Erod. Can you? Am I wrong to say that? But like,
no, I think it's safe to assume you can't. I think there was just, like I said, there was that sliver of hope, that 5-game sample size where you're like, oh my God, he came back from injury? Did he figure something out a little bit? Like, is he really not as bad as we thought? And then he goes in and he lays that absolute massive egg. Elise says maybe Erod just hates 4th of July. I don't know.
Anti-fireworks?
The thing that sucks about Erod is I wanted to like him so bad, because he literally refused to trade to the Dodgers, and like that meant something to me. Like that was special. And then went and turned around a couple months later and signed with the Diamondbacks. Like I was ready to go legend status, and he just isn't it, man. He isn't it.
He doesn't have the facilities for that.
No, he doesn't. He frankly doesn't. But John, that's the point I've been trying to make the whole time, my brother. 3 out of 4 is a whole lot better than a split. I take it back to a different sport, Kevin, and I feel like you could relate to this a little bit. When you're in the NBA and it's game 3, it can't get closer than 2-1. It has to be 2-1 somebody, but then that game 4, that means everything. It's either 2-2 or 3-1, and you're probably dead. And it's like that's kind of what you're looking at with these series here. It's a similar, I mean, it's the exact same math. Not similar, it's the exact same math, but it's like the difference between winning a series 3-1 versus tying a series 2-2, especially when you're up on a division rival, especially when you just did it against a division rival and it slipped from your hands. Like that part of things is just really, really demoralizing. And on top of that, you should have won that Giants series 3-1. You let one of those games completely slip from you. And you should be up 3-0 in this series. Because getting back to that 1-0 loss that the Diamondbacks had on Tuesday night, I mean, talk about just a demoralizing loss. And I feel like I need to talk about it because I haven't been on this program, Kevin. Like, what are we talking about? You lose 1-0 to the Padres. Luis Arias hits a solo shot. Is that like the first home run of Luis Arias' career? I'm clicking on this player profile right now. He has 5 bombs this year and a total of 101 hits. I mean, the guy just doesn't hit home runs, and he goes out and he does that in a pivotal moment. And then just left and right, you just have Padres players taking balls out of the stands. It just makes you sick to your stomach if you're a Diamondbacks fan. I know it made me sick to my stomach when I saw that Jackson Merrill catch in particular, because what a grab. Like, what a grab, man. I thought that dude was like Spider-Man the way he climbed that wall. I didn't even know you could get up that high on the wall. And yeah, terrible, terrible loss. Merrill Kelly obviously goes out there and shoves. Agreed, Elise. That was what I was saying, because I actually did have the displeasure of watching this game while we were out in Texas. And it's like the fact that it's Luis Arias, too, is like, get the hell out of here. Like, if it was Tatis or Machado, like, we could live with that a little bit more. But it's a guy who, you know, like, he has to get everything on a baseball for it to go out of the ballpark. And, yeah, man, that was just a really, really demoralizing loss. But I did want to pull up this tweet here from our guy, Jesse Friedman of Snakes Territory and of this show. You know, he tallied together the stats of the Diamondbacks starters over the first 3 games. Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly, Brandon Pfaadt in the series against the San Diego Padres. 21 innings pitched, 13 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, and 17 strikeouts. That's a 1.29 ERA and a .67 whip. Great stats there from Jesse Friedman. Per usual, our guy just killing it with the numbies. But yeah, I mean, that's what you want to see. Those three guys, right? Because obviously going into the season, you thought Corbin Burns, he's the ace of this team. What's that going to do for Zach Allen, Merrill Kelly, Brandon Pfaadt, moving those guys down a rotation slot? Like, could that really improve their game? Unfortunately, we don't have that right now. Unfortunately, you know, we're left with basically the guys that we had last season, the season before that. And you need those horses to get you to the finish line. Zach Allen, you know, pitching the way he has recently is going to be pivotal for this team staying in the wild card race. Merrill Kelly, I think we all believe in him. He's the mainstay. He's Mr. Consistency. But, you know, you need Merrill Kelly to show up consistently. I think we all believe in that. And you need Brandon Pfaadt to find some form, find some, you know, ability to not just get lit up and throw batting practice all over the place. And this Padres series has been, you know, although you probably should be up 3-0, I think it's got to be incredibly encouraging just watching this pitching staff, because we just haven't had that pitching staff at our disposal all year long. And yeah, it's got to start now.
And to your point, Damon, the pitching staff was supposed to be, I shouldn't say like the main backbone, but truly it was supposed to be the backbone of this upcoming year's team, the pitching and continued defense, because That's Diamondback baseball, right? From Torey Lovullo's mouth, right? So I feel like having one of those pieces back as one of your, what is it, L3, L4 vertebrae? Like one of your vertebrae is back and functioning and it's fused and we're good to go, hopefully. But we all know with back surgery that once you go under the knife, it's only a matter of time before you go back under the knife. So hopefully the pitching staff can stay consistent and stay shoving, and the Diamondbacks can try to figure things out on the perimeter of things, you know what I mean? As opposed to worrying about, like, are we going to even have the horses to compete in this division, you know what I mean? In terms of the pitching staff that you thought was one of the best in baseball.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Scott makes a good point in the chat as well. Like Merrill Kelly, you can't continue to afford to lose games when he goes out there and does what he did. I think in 2 of his last 3 starts, he's gotten, I don't know if he's gotten the loss. He did against San Diego, but I don't know if he got the loss in the other one, but he definitely pitched a gem. Yeah, against the, maybe not a gem, but he had 3 earned against the Giants, and the Diamondbacks lose in extras in that one. 3 earned against the Marlins. We did score 8 in that game, but the bullpen faltered severely. Merrill Kelly, we need to start winning some of these games. 3 L's in a row with Merrill Kelly on the mound is not the recipe for success for this team to make the playoffs. And, especially when he's probably your most consistent pitcher in your rotation. But there was a tweet from Joe Covert on Twitter. He tweeted out our show tweet, and he makes a point that I do think is important to say. Like, this game, I already said it, this game is so damn pivotal tonight. And you can't split another series with a division opponent that you're trying to, compete with for a wild card, that you're trying to compete with in division. Torey Lovullo needs to put out his best lineup tonight. I need the A lineup tonight. I can't deal with the Cattell rest. We can't do, I know Corbin just came back from injury, but I'm sorry, man. Like, we need the A squad. We need the A team. And that doesn't include Pavin Smith hitting third, even though that's probably what's going to end up happening. It's just, we need the best possible lineup we can get tonight. And anything less is a massive, massive failure on the part of, Torey Lovullo and who else is making lineup decisions in that room. As much as I'm a Torey guy, and as much as I know that bothers people, like, we can't do the B squad AAA Reno Aces tonight. That's completely unacceptable stuff. Yeah, you're right, Elise. Sorry. I totally forgot Pavin got placed on the IL. It kind of slipped my memory just because I haven't been here the early parts of the week. But yeah. I mean, listen, maybe we do get the A squad then. Maybe, Kevin, maybe that's all the A squad needed was not Pavin Smith batting third.
I mean, hey, you know what I mean? I know that, the A squad is necessary, but I did want to bring back your point about how necessary it is to win this series, and a 3-1 series victory is just so drastically different than a 2-2 series tie, because, like, obviously you want the series win, right? But beyond that, if you're evaluating these teams, if you look back on the season and say, well, we had this many series ties against so-and-so team, were we better than them, or is it we're lockstep? Are we super close with that team? It's tough to evaluate your own team that you support's current level if they're tying, or to one of your favorite sports, if they're drawing in soccer, right, or football, whatever, right? So, like, if you actually are able to get results, if you're actually able to finish and, get W's, it's way easier to know the level of your team and get into the playoffs and be like, oh, I know we're better than this team. I know we can be better than this team because we've done it so many times throughout the course of the season. But if you're just tying over the course of these series, it's tough to tell where you're really at.
Yeah, no doubt about that. We're going to talk a little bit more about the Angels series and what we got on the horizon. We're also going to get into some of our favorite All-Star Game memories leading into the Midsummer Classic, and we'll do that right after the break here on the AZ Wildcats podcast. But first, I want to talk to you guys about our friends at Pure Edibles. Kevin, we were in Texas, and that's just not a thing out there. But God damn it, am I happy to be home in the great state of Arizona, where they have Pure Edibles that you can find at over 130 dispensaries statewide, brother.
How many?
130. I guarantee you got one in your backyard that has Pure Edibles products. They, of course, they're a full-fledged candy company offering gummies, Kicks, which is their version of Starburst, Chews, soft candies. They got the caramels, the chocolates. We've tried them all. and the hard candies. And they're clearly listed on the tin, like the effects of it, whether you want like a sleep effect or a little bit of an uplift. They, of course, have all of those options. It's a unique cannabinoid that involves CBN, CBG, CBD, and marijuana-derived THC, and they were fully created in Flagstaff, Arizona at the Noble Herb Dispensary, which is the home of Pure Edibles, but it's now being made right here in Phoenix, Arizona. So support local, support a company that helps us out. Pure Edibles. Go find yourself some Pure Edibles products from one of the over 130 dispensaries across Arizona. Another company that goes hand in hand, Kevin, with our friends at Pure Edibles is the Circle K. I mean, Inner Circle is not the company, but God damn it, you're going to want to sign up for the Inner Circle, because if you don't, you just hate money, brother. Because if you sign up for the Inner Circle now, you're going to save 25 cents off per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. Then after that, every time that you sign up, or every time that you sign in at the gas pump, you're going to get 3 cents off per gallon and 5 cents off per gallon when you become a premium member like me and like Kevin. Who knows? You might be able to find some of your favorite PHNX personalities at the pump, at your favorite Circle K, your local Circle K, on that screen there. If it's one of the more modern Circle Ks, we got all sorts of videos from PHNX personalities telling you to go inside, grab a Polar Pop there. I wanted to say a Thirst Buster, but that's in the past. We're on to new and better things, the Polar Pop. And of course, they got all kinds of drink and meal deal specials with the Inner Circle as well. It's so easy to sign up. You just plug in a number on your phone, you get a username, a password, and you're done. And the savings are right in front of you. Join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit circlek.com for details. The only time details works is at the end of an ad read, Kevin.
I agree. I agree. It sounds completely out of place anywhere else.
Yeah, 100%.
Also, real quick on the Circle K topic, our guy Max, our beloved, sometimes hated guy Max, he thought he assumed such little of our character when we returned from Frisco. He didn't think that we would have stopped by a Circle K on our trip. Of course we stopped by a Circle K.
Ridiculous.
To the point where I told people to stop by 3272 Parkwood Boulevard in Frisco, Texas, the best Circle K in Frisco, Texas. Just want to get that out of the way so we have 2 forms of proof that Max is a damn liar.
The best Circle K east of Arizona, I'd argue.
I mean, yeah, until you get to St. Louis.
Is Circle K out there in St. Louis?
I mean, probably.
Probably, or actually.
I can double check for you right now.
Yeah, I need a fact check on that. Jamie, would you mind checking that, please? But another thing that you guys are going to want to get involved in if you haven't done so already, or if you're in any way interested in the great sport that has taken over this valley, I would argue, pickleball. We got our own pickleball tournament going on at Chicken and Pickle. I believe it is our 3rd pickleball tournament we'll be doing. Maybe it's the 2nd, but I played in the last one for sure, and I had such a damn good time. We got different levels for which, if you're a better player, you can be in the expert/intermediary bracket. Kevin, your boy, joined the intermediate bracket last year and didn't go so well for him. Didn't realize that I am more of a beginner caliber pickleball player.
Like Eric Ruby playing pool.
Absolutely, like Eric Ruby playing pool, which we'll talk about later on the AZ Wildcats podcast. But it's $35 for an individual, $70 for a team. You get to sign up for our pickleball tournament. There will be all sorts of prizes out there, and it's so much fun. If you haven't been to Chicken and Pickle, they got indoor courts, so we're not out there in the hot sun. They got drinks, great food over there, and they got courts just lined up on the inside. All sorts of games as well to play while you're out there on their campus. It's so much fun. Prizes, food and drink specials, and more. And the proceeds all go to support Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Central Arizona. So if you guys are interested in pickleball and want to help support a good cause, go on to our gophnx.com website, check our events tab, and sign up for this tournament.
Damon, I do have an update on the Circle K status in St. Louis.
Please.
There are countless Circle Ks in
How
St.
many
Louis.
are we talking?
I mean,
too many to count?
I didn't want to count. You know what I mean? I zoomed in on the map, and it was dramatic. Scenes, if you will.
Here's what I'll say, Jordan. He says he's never broken a bone, but he somehow thinks he'd break a finger or something the first time he tried to play pickleball. I see what you're saying, but here's my counter to that. Old people who literally do anything to break bones,
frail,
genuinely play this sport all the time. This is a sport that you can play when you're a kid to when you're elderly, and everybody's having a great time. the really competitive games are like require tons of hand-eye coordination and athleticism and reading the ball. Like, but you can also play when you're older to stay active. It's a great game in that capacity. And yeah, make sure you guys sign up for our pickleball tournament. It's a lot of fun. Jay Cuddy, good to see you, my man. Drop a like on this video if you guys haven't done so. John Freeman says the best Circle K has got to be up north right now. Where are we discussing up north? Where in particular up north? I'd love to know. Because when I think up north, I'm thinking Canada.
I was about to say the Great White North of Canada.
I'm thinking maybe like Minnesota. That kind of neck of the woods. But I just can't help it. I think Arizona Circle Ks are they clear. They're clear.
They definitely clear.
Levels.
The
Levels
home
to
of
this game. Also, I forgot to mention off the top, our presenting sponsors on this program, Kevin, are Bet365 and Game Time. Sign up for the Bet365 app right now. Use promo code PHNX365 and get $20 off your first purchase on Game Time with our promo code of PHNX. Those two apps. I actually used Game Time at Petco Park out on Sunday. I went to the Rangers Padres game, and that was a tough one to decide who I wanted to win that one. The Rangers took so much from us. Adolis Garcia is such a cheat who should be in jail for his steroid usage. And, of course, you have the Padres, who are a division rival, who we need to lose as many games as possible. That was a really tough game for me to watch. I love the vibes at Petco. I've long said Petco is my favorite ballpark in Major League Baseball that I've been to. I think I've been to 13. But yeah, how about Game Time getting me last-minute tickets? I actually did wait until the absolute last minute, Kevin. Waited until the very last minute. Prices just kept going down and got a good price on my seat. So, yeah, shout out Game Time. Shout out Bet365. Won some money on that as well this weekend. John says it's the heat. I totally understand that. Maybe like Sedona Circle Ks and Flagstaff Circle Ks. Like the weather's nice up there right now. Scott says PNC in Pittsburgh is beautiful. Heard that from everybody that's ever been there. Unfortunately, have not made it out there myself, but I'd love to go see a Skeens game.
I was going to say, is PNC like the gem of Pittsburgh?
For sure.
I'm not trying to talk down on Pittsburgh.
I think the Steelers in general are the gem of Pittsburgh. If you're truly like if you said to people in Pittsburgh, can we hang on to anything in life? They'd say take it all. Don't take the damn Steelers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess I meant more from an aesthetic standpoint of
sure.
Is PNC Park, if you're flying over Pittsburgh, is that the looking out the window of the plane being yo, that's PNC Park. Look at that. You know what I mean? Is that the gem? Because isn't it mostly factories out there? Or am I? Because I've never been out there.
I mean, there's a bunch of metal working factories for sure. That's why they're the Steelers. But yeah, Elise, you also another great one. Oracle. I went when I was 1 year old, and my parents apparently were passing me around as a sleeping child. If one of them is in the chat here, feel free to tune in on this. But apparently my parents were passing me around to these. People that were literally foreigners traveling to the US, just checking out a baseball game. And they were just can we hold your baby? And my parents were sure, we don't care. But that's my Oracle experience. I need to get out there as an adult. But yeah, I love Petco Park, man. And if you guys are out there right now, enjoy the game, man. Enjoy the scenery, enjoy the San Diego weather. And then the Diamondbacks, of course, right after this series, they will go on to play the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim in Orange County. And that's another big series because if we could pull up the Angels team preview, they are a team that has a very similar record to the Diamondbacks. They're 45-47. The Dbacks are 46-47, one game away from clawing back to 500. 4-6 in their last 10. OPS, very middle of the pack. Starting pitcher ERA, kind of in a similar neck of the woods. Relief pitcher ERA, I think it's somehow even worse than ours, Kevin, which is pretty impressive, pretty tough to do if you're the Angels here. And then defensively, they are the single worst defensive team in the entire sport. Kevin, when you look at that, what sticks out to you?
I mean, if I'm being candid with you, it's the fire chief helmet. But from an actual,
I said out loud when I did that, I was like, I was like, this Mike Trout picture goes crazy hard.
It goes so hard. But no, honestly, I think the outs above average stand out to me. One of the lowest teams in that category.
The lowest.
Yeah, the lowest. Defensively, this should be a team the Arizona Diamondbacks should be able to beat and get a series victory over, right? I'm not that's not really a hot take here, but that's what stood out to me when I was looking at that graphic. The lowest team in the league, outs above average wise.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing is they're 28th in relief pitching ERA, and the Diamondbacks are 27th. So it's bad on bad here. It's weakness on weakness. And you could make the argument that whoever's bullpen actually performs, decently, not even well, just decent, could end up winning this series because of how bad both teams' bullpens are. The Angels really struggle defensively and really struggle from a relief pitching standpoint. And they're also a little bit fraudulent. If you wouldn't mind pulling that back up one more time, if we were to look at, the MLB standings, in the run differential of the teams that the Angels sit around, the Angels are in third place in their division, but they have a negative 57 run differential on the season, which is pretty low for a team that's kind of in their, neck of the woods record wise. When I'm looking at the AL standings, they're 3 spots out of that last wild card spot behind the Boston Red Sox and the Kansas City Royals. But they have the worst run differential of any of the teams that are above them, and a worse run differential than the 3 teams that are below them as well, the Guardians, Rangers, and Twins. So I just think the Angels are a little bit fraudulent. I don't think they're as good as their record states. They obviously have Mike Trout, who's kind of under the radar. I think at this, he's almost always been a little bit under the radar after I think like his first 5 seasons, but right now feels like he's like extremely under the radar. No one talks about Mike Trout. 16 bombs on the season and over 800 OPS despite his poor average. Like I think that Mike Trout is he's still a superstar caliber player. I'd love to get my hands on that guy. Could we trade for Mike Trout, please? Literally, I'm begging. No more Pavin Smith in my life. Kevin, what do we need to do? What do I need to do to make that happen? No more Pavin DH, and I get to watch Mike Trout ball. Get this man to a team that he deserves to play for. Get him to a contender. He would love Arizona. Mike would love Arizona. Come on. But no, I think he's an Angel for life. Sadly, he cares about things like that.
It is sad, though, that he's an Angel for life in that sense that we were talking about this pre-show, and I wanted to ask you about this on this podcast today because I wanted to give you the floor to talk a little bit about. You said the Los Angeles Angels, but they play where?
Anaheim.
Okay. And you believe what about that in relation to their name?
You want me to give my whole pre-show spiel?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I just
maybe a little cleaner, but
I just think that maybe a little bit less F-bombs involved. I think that the Angels are just they have an identity problem. There's a reason that they don't have a big fan base, and there's a reason that they're unpopular, and it's because they have an identity problem. They're a team that they try to be represented by Los Angeles, but they're nowhere close to Los Angeles. They're an hour outside of Los Angeles, and they have an incredibly large metropolitan hotbed of people that live in Orange County, and they somehow just have done a horrific job marketing to these people. I mentioned that, you should have stuck with the California Angels. You should have gone and made yourself the OC Angels, the Orange County Angels. And I think that you could try to market yourself to the millions of people that live in Orange County as their team. But instead, you try to piggyback off of the Dodgers, the fans that don't want to be Dodgers fans. And there's not that many of people that want to associate with LA, but don't want to associate with the Dodgers because that's LA's team. So I just think that the Angels have an identity crisis, and, they're an organization that is just completely lost from that standpoint. And it's probably why they lose a guy like Shohei Ohtani. When Ohtani came over here, Kevin, he probably was like, oh, LA, that's awesome. And then he joined and he was like, oh, it's not LA at all. And no one cares about this team, even when the most popular player in baseball plays for them. But
it's honestly probably a pretty good point. Like I'm not, I know that I don't want to agree that it's pretty much like he looked at it like that's LA. I'm just gonna go there. But I do think like you assume like, oh, it's California. I am living around Los Angeles. Even though
there's
what's
probably
Anaheim? Like I don't really know the relation there.
Population that he probably cared about, Japanese population in particular. Like a lot of things made sense about it. You're playing with Mike Trout, and then it just doesn't work out at all. And I will say, though, as much as I just was like, Mike Trout, like, hopefully he doesn't stay irrelevant for his career because he plays for the Angels. Like, I wish Ohtani did that, to be fair. You know what I mean? I respect Mike Trout for doing that because I don't respect Ohtani for crossing enemy lines and going literally to the other team in Southern California and saying, now I play for the good ones. It's like, I think that's egregious. I think that's like almost KD-esque. You know what I mean? It's
extremely KD-esque.
It's almost worse to me, to be honest with you, because I don't think I don't remember how the CBA was in the NBA back then, but I'm pretty sure the Warriors and the Thunder, the amount that they could pay Kevin Durant was pretty similar. Like, it's not as if he had more that he could make. I think the Dodgers, obviously, you could make more than playing for the Dodgers than for the Angels. But also, Ohtani did the Dodgers a huge favor by making like $2 million a year for the entire contract and using all these deferrals. So
it would be like being a career Warrior and then being like, well, the Lakers are really good right now.
Yeah,
I'd rather
Steph being like, I'm gonna go play with LeBron and Luka in LA.
But actually not having all the years there that Steph does. I think it'd be pretty gross if he went to LA, right? But I think there would still be Warriors fans that are like, we're thankful for the so much greatness he did give us.
Yeah.
But the Angels fans, they don't get to feel that way about Shohei. You know what I mean?
But they do, though. That's the thing that bothers me.
It's weird. They have like the murals up in the stadium
bro.
still.
Nothing would make me angrier if I was an Angels fan than seeing Shohei Ohtani jerseys lined up across my field going to home games. And yet, when I went, that was the truth. They have murals that they're selling in the team shop of him still, and it's just a whole big thing. But it goes back to the identity crisis. I just think that if they had a more passionate fan base, that 100% wouldn't be a thing that happens. But, I digress. You got to beat the Angels. I think they're fraudulent, getting back to that side of things. I don't think that they're a team that the Diamondbacks should, they should stand in the way of. Up here in the chat, if we could scroll up a little bit, Elise says they're in the AL, which makes their schedule easier in general to have a better record. 100%. The Diamondbacks are playing a much more difficult schedule in the National League than the American League teams are. Probably has a lot to do with it, but still, it's crazy to just look at these records and look at the caliber of teams roster-wise that you're looking at here, and you're like, these are not remotely the same. The Diamondbacks have good offensive players lined up all across their team. They have some pitchers who, are intriguing at least, or really good on paper. And then, you have two horrific bullpens, and that's really the problem. Jordan PM says we're like sour candy. There's so much bad. The good is almost being outweighed. You could scroll up a little bit more still, Kevin. No, that's good. That's all we had there. It's just, I'm with you guys. The Angels are not a good team. They're a fraudulent team, and you definitely have to take care of business with them. Scott Mack says Marte will eventually move to DH like Trout to prolong his career. Been literally pounding the table for that for 2 seasons now as Ketel deals with injury problems. That is the long-term play. I think Ketel is a little bit egotistical in the way that I think he wants to be playing second base no matter what. And he should be, right? Because he's the best player on this team. He's probably going to finish his career as the greatest Diamondback of all time from a hitting standpoint. So, that ego is well earned, but we'll see how he handles with that. Kevin, we got to get into another break here on the PHNX Dbacks show, but after we do, we're going to come back. We're going to talk about our favorite All-Star memories in Dbacks history. But first, let's talk about our friends at Bet365. As I already discussed with you guys, I am a Bet365 savant. I was on the Bet365 app yesterday, and I was winning some money. I actually got all my bets in before we got on the flight to Texas. I'm sitting on the tarmac there, Kevin, knowing that gambling is not legal in Texas. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I got to get all my stuff in on Bet365 before I get out there. Because Bet365, they offer the best lines in the business. They pioneered live in-game betting, and it's, of course, never ordinary at Bet365. When you sign up with our promo code of PHNX365, you'll get a deposit match on your first bonus. And it's just it's a great deal that you're going to want to be a part of. If you're not a Bet365 user already, they have one of the best interfaces in all of sports gambling as well. That's an important thing for me because nothing I hate more, Kevin, than logging into my app and having to log in every time, no Face ID, no remember password. I got to do it over and over again. I got to accept the terms and conditions every time I log in. I got to do a secondary code. Bet365, they're so simple to use. It's a fast working app, and the interface means everything, as well as those odds, which they offer the best odds in the business. So Bet365, code PHNX365 when you sign up. Scan that QR code. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Another company, of course, that we are so thankful to be partnered with is our friends over at, if I could get this up here, good podcasting, professional podcasting, Mint Mobile. You hear Derek talk about it all the time. Ryan Reynolds is Mr. Mint Mobile.
Wrexham.
We support Wrexham over here at PHNX. We, of course, have the PHNX Wrexham podcast, the #1 Wrexham podcast in the United States. And if you support Wrexham, you got to support Ryan Reynolds' company, Mint Mobile. Mintmobile.com/Diamondbacks. Go check out the offers they have over there. And stop getting burned by your old wireless bill. Everybody knows it's the summer. You want to start planning vacations like our guy Derek Montilla is in Puerto Rico right now. I bet you Derek is feeling a lot better because he has that Mint Mobile. He got rid of his old wireless carrier. He got that Mint Mobile price, and now he has some extra savings he can use at that beach bar in Puerto Rico on some pina coladas. Nothing better than that. Say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you with the nation's largest 5G network, high-speed data, and unlimited talk and text. So use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. You're not going to lose that phone, which we know is so important, losing that line. You're going to keep that same line. Like I said, Derek Montilla uses it. He's been saving a bunch of money doing it, and you should too. This year, skip breaking the sweat and breaking the bank. Get this new customer offer and your 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Diamondbacks. That's mintmobile.com/Diamondbacks. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 a month. Limited time to new customer offer for that first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes or on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details. Like I said, Kevin, it is in fact Throwback Thursday. If you wouldn't mind actually popping on all that Throwback Thursday stuff for me, let's pop into. Oh yeah, it works perfectly. Look at that. Just right over the top. And we have some all-stars to talk about here in Diamondbacks history. Of course, we know the organization inaugural season 1998. By 2000, Randy Johnson is already starting in the National League in Atlanta, which is where this next All-Star game will be headed. Gave up 1 hit, striking out 1 in 1 inning of work. And Steve Finley enters the game as a defensive replacement and singles home a run in his lone AB in 2000, the 2000 All-Star game. Moving into 2001, of course, Randy Johnson is again the National League starting pitcher, perhaps, the greatest lefty starter in MLB history. Second straight starting assignment, an 8th trip to the All-Star game for Randy Johnson. In 2002, of course, the Diamondbacks win the World Series. Manager Bob Brenly represents the National League All-Star team in that game, is the manager, similar to how Torey Lovullo did just a season ago. That one was at Miller Park. Curt Schilling started that year. So you actually had 3 straight starters, Kevin, that were Diamondbacks for the National League in the MLB All-Star game. I think that's pretty insane, if I do say so myself. Damian Miller, Junior Spivey, Luis Gonzalez, Byung-Hyun Kim, and Randy Johnson were also all selected to that game. 1 year, less than 1 season past their appearance in the MLB World Series. In 2009, you have Dan Herron become the first pitcher in MLB history to reach the All-Star break, leading the majors in ERA, strikeout to walk ratio, WHIP, and opponents on base percentage. His 9 wins and 2.01 ERA at the break marked the first time that an NL pitcher had those numbers. Moving on to 2011, it was the Diamondbacks hosting the game. We all remember the MLB All-Star game here in Phoenix in 2011. 82nd All-Star game. The National League defeats the American League 5-1 in the process. Justin Upton, Miguel Montero, Kirk Gibson as a coach, and trainer Ken Crenshaw serve on the National League squad. That's kind of crazy that a trainer, Kevin, serves as the National League representative just because it's at their local ballpark.
It's kind of cool though.
Sure.
It's kind of cool.
They get like a jersey?
Maybe. I mean, I'm just thinking of it. It's cool because that's like a lifelong thing for them. You know, that's like a lifelong memory. You're like, I was at MLB All-Star if you didn't know.
Yeah, true. Very true. And then in 2022, the lone All-Star, Joe Mantiply, was, that was a good year, good, solid, fun year. There's a couple years, and let me know if there's another one in the chat that I'm forgetting. I remember the Wade Miley year where he was the lone All-Star and that team was just putrid and he was pretty average and got our All-Star spot because he was the only guy who didn't just completely suck. Similar to Joe Mantiply in 2022. Who's your, am I missing any? Who's your favorite lone All-Star Diamondback that absolutely just probably had no business representing the Diamondbacks in the All-Star game? Kevin, by the way, do you like that rule? Do you like the you need a representative rule?
Kind of. I don't know. I don't really have a strong opinion on that one. I know it's a lame answer, but I would lean towards representation being cool, but it's something that you should have to earn by some sort of qualification, right?
It's somewhat cool I think in the way that if you're a local team, you need an all-star in the game. Like if you're the Marlins hosting the all-star game and your team stinks, it's like, dude, throw him a bone, get him an all-star, please, for the love of God. But then you have in 2023, Corbin Carroll becomes the first rookie in MLB history with at least 15 bombs, 25 stolen bases before the All-Star break, and became the only rookie ever and just one of 3 players to have 15 home runs, 25 stolen bases, and 2 walk-offs before the All-Star break in a season, joining Bobby Bonds, and Matt Kemp, 2 pretty good players there for Corbin Carroll to have company with. But that was, of course, Corbin's first All-Star game. Zach Gallen started in that game. And now we'll have Ketel Marte on the mound with Gino Suarez and Corbin Carroll as the other Diamondbacks representatives. No pitchers, but that is very well deserved. Kevin, we're going to finish up this show and outro it right after the break here. One last break here on the PHNX Dbacks podcast. But first, let's talk about All-Pro Shade Concepts. Of course, our guy, Espo, GM of this company, got himself some All-Pro Shade Concepts at his home, and they've shot a commercial out there, and I was very, very jealous. When I think of the dream, Kevin, and when I say the dream, I mean the dream. I think about having a big backyard, an outdoor bar area with some misters, and none of that would be complete without an awning from my friends at All Pro Shade Concepts. It literally is the dream for me. Of course, a hot tub as well. I have to mention, we need a hot tub in the backyard. But let me tell you guys, these shades, these patio shades, are so damn cool. They're remote controlled. They're high tech. They got all sorts of options. And of course, in the great state of Arizona, you know how much we need shade. We need some cool weather over here. So do anything that you can. Get that custom fit awning. Hundreds of designs and colors to choose from that match any home and can work with your HOA for any sort of approval. They are, of course, the shade experts, so they know exactly what they're doing. They got roll-down patio shades to block the sun, and it keeps it up to 20 degrees cooler. And as I mentioned, over 100 colors and different styles that you can choose from. Most trusted local shade company, voted #1 by Ranking Arizona for patio shades in 2024. Triple B A+ rankings for over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google, licensed, bonded, and insured. Call 623-204-14676 up there on the screen, or visit allproshadeconcepts.com now to schedule your free in-home estimate. Check out that number there on the screen. Another company that we want to talk about here is Desert Financial Credit Union. Of course, Desert Financial Credit Union is a staple here in the Valley. They love Valley sports. And if you haven't signed up for your Desert Financial Credit Union account here yet, they're going to give you $200 when you do so. $200 in bonuses for a free checking account online. If that's not worth it, I don't know what is. It's just like what we talked about earlier in the show. You just hate money at that point. Desert Financial is proud supporters of the Arizona Cardinals, the Arizona State Sun Devils. Boo. And, Desert Financial is they're big fans of the Diamondbacks as well. So if you're an Arizona sports fan, no better place to do your banking. Get those custom Cardinals or Sun Devils cards if those are teams that you are a fan of. They also have NAU as well. And for more than 84 years, Desert Financial has been Arizona's largest, most trusted local credit union, dedicating to creating exceptional experiences by giving back to the community and providing financial solutions that make lives better. Our guy Eric Ruby's family has been a part of it for 3 generations. Derek Montilla wouldn't have been able to buy a home without Desert Financial Credit Union and what they did for him. So sign up now when opening a free checking account online. Get $200 in bonuses. Get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200 for more details. And that being said, why would you want to go to a big corporation credit union, when you could go local, people that care about the people around you, and people that want to support people in the state of Arizona. So go over to Desert Financial now and check that out. Kevin, we don't got too much time here left on the PHNX Dbacks show. I do want to round it out just by talking about how pivotal this game is actually for this team. I mean, you claw your way back to 500. The Padres, you get that series win against the Padres, and another thing here that we haven't talked about yet, Kevin, is the NL West standings, the drunken orgy of violence, if you will. We have some movement since I last made this graphic. The Giants have since eclipsed the Padres. They are now back in front of the Padres. The Dodgers are on a 6-game losing streak, man. All I needed to do was leave this show, and all of a sudden the Dodgers are the worst team in baseball. I absolutely love it.
Your hatred fuels them, apparently. You were gone,
yeah.
and they were like, where's our number one hater, Damon Fairall?
Absolutely. But the Giants here, 51-43, 5 games back. The Padres, 49-43, 6 games back. And the Diamondbacks, 1 game from reaching that threshold of Mount 500, 9.5 games back. We have since moved back in the wild card standings, 4.5 games back in the wild card standings since last week. We were, I think, at 3 games at one point. A little disheartening to see. But as I said, man, no better place to start than tonight with getting a 3-1 series victory on a division opponent like the San Diego Padres, and getting that back to the Padres, you being just a game and a half back, I believe, from the Padres if you win tonight's game. So going to be important, going to be very, very important. John Freeman says Corbin is Mr. Triples now. I mean, no doubt about it. Corbin has always been Mr. Triples. I don't know what like old timey baseball players were doing. It's possible that like there was like some park like Polo Grounds where like the ball was like in the gap at 600 feet somehow, and it's like, of course you're going to get a triple out of that. So like maybe the all-time leaders are a little bit skewed or something, but I'd love to see where Corbin Carroll is going to end up all-time triples in MLB history when it's all said and done, Kevin, because he has just that special mix of incredible speed and power that you don't see very often. And the guy like almost gets more triples than doubles. Like it's almost easier, which is like MLB The Show stuff. That's what I do with my player. I get him to the highest speed rating I can so that I could start stretching singles into doubles, doubles into triples, and every gapper turns into 3 bases. Corbin Carroll is like the modern encapsulation in real life of an MLB The Show, road to the show player. And with the way that he hits the ball for power and the way that he runs, like it's incredible to watch, man. And yeah, he really is truly Mr. Triples. I believe he's leading baseball right now in triples as I look that up. Great podcasting here on the PHNX Dbacks show. He's currently moved down. No, that's just American League. Yeah, he's tied for 10th. He's tied for first with 10 with Jarren Duran of the Boston Red Sox. I think I believe he's led in triples at least one of his 2 seasons that he started in the major leagues. And yeah, he really truly is Mr. Triple. It's a great moniker. It's a great moniker, John. We appreciate everybody rocking with us today on a Throwback Thursday. Kevin and I, we will be talking some Arizona Wildcats, doing a similar rendition of this exact show. As I said, if you guys want to watch a little bit more Kevin and Damon ball, go check out the AZ Wildcats podcast at 2 p.m. We're going to be going right again in an hour. So we can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you guys like this video if you haven't already. A little like on the light on the likes here. I know Derek would be disappointed if he saw this lack of likes. We got, close to 40 people watching. Can I get close to 40 likes on this damn video, please, for your boy here? And tomorrow we're going to be doing a post-game show, Angels Diamondbacks, last series before the Midsummer Classic, before the Arizona Diamondbacks players will suit up for the National League versus the American League. Yes, Jay Cuddy, hold the line, hit that like button. Does us huge favors here at PHNX Sports, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. We're going to be back, like I said, for a post game tomorrow night. It's going to be me. It's going to be Kevin. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully the Diamondbacks get off to a good start facing the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim in Southern California. And stay tuned for that one. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, we will catch you on the PHNX Dbacks show. And I didn't prepare for this at all, but you can follow my guy Kevin at KevoPost, KEVOPOSTS. You can follow me at Damon Dog. That's Damon DAWG. You can follow our account at PHNX_Dbacks on X or Twitter or Instagram, any of the above. But remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it's so much more fun when you actually get series wins versus your division rivals.
We all silly like the mayor.